Hi everybody, it's Annette with the Art of Intuition. Today we're going to talk about brain waves and how they affect our different states of consciousness. We're going to get scientific today, so bear with me. Okay, so everyone has different brainwave states. Remember, well, I'm going to say this and I'm going to have to flip it. The slower our brainwaves are, the more our consciousness expands. So remember that. I'm going to flip that later, but right now we're going to go with that premise for a minute. So one of our fastest brainwave states is called the beta wave state. And that is our busy logical mind, right? That is our, what we might call our monkey mind. It is linked to anxiety. It can be linked to fear, logic, all those kind of, I don't really want to use higher and lower, but sort of the undesirable emotions. So when you're really logical, you're really in a busy state of mind, you are in a fast brainwave state and not as conscious to other things going on around you, right? So you're not picking up on telepathy, you're not picking up consciously anyway, on the energetic things going on, right? You're not really in an intuitive state. You're in a busy linear mind state, right? So the second state you get to is what they call alpha brain. A lot of athletes will talk about alpha brain. They talk about going to alpha brain. Alpha brain state is a more intuitive state. It's a more feeling state where your beta waves are a more thinking state, right? So a lot of people like to go to alpha brain. It's creativity. It's where you get flashes of intuition, right? It's daydreaming. It is that more relaxed, calm state of your mind. Some people might hit that when they're in meditation. They're in more alpha brain. A lot of athletes, when they look at them during peak performance times, they will register in an alpha brainwave state, which is the one level below beta. So also in alpha, remember, you've now expanded your consciousness because your brainwaves are slower. So after alpha, we have theta state. Theta state can be achieved in the first few minutes when you start drifting off to sleep. It can be achieved on long car rides, long showers. It's kind of a slower brainwave state. So you have a much more expanded consciousness. It's almost like a trance-like state. So a lot of, I was going to say babies, but a little like newborns are going to be in the next state. And then as babies and children develop, they start developing different brainwave states, so they're more awake more. So this is more, I don't really say sleepy state because it's really not a sleepy state, but it can be identified with the beginning of your sleepy state, right? So, and you're more conscious. So the slower you go, the more you quiet your busy mind, the more conscious you become. Slower brainwave, slower you go, more conscious you are, the more you pull things in, right? The faster your energy around you spends, your energy field spends, you pull more in. So the lowest brainwave state we have is what they call delta, okay? Now delta is what newborns are in when they are in utero. Delta is what newborns come out, so they sleep all the time. It's a very deep sleep state. When you go under anesthesia, they put you into this delta brainwave state. You don't feel pain there. You don't feel pleasure there. You don't really feel anything there. It is a deep healing state for dream state. So a lot of people who are in delta state, they say they don't dream. I don't know if I really 100% go with that, but that is one of the, if you Google delta brainwave state, that is one thing they'll say, that you don't really dream in delta, but it's a very deep healing state. Okay, so, and you're ultra super conscious. So whether you remember it or not, you're picking up a lot of information in delta state because you're super conscious. So now I'm gonna flip it, which is what we do, right? So when you first start expanding your consciousness, you kind of work from beta to alpha to theta to delta. So you start spending more time in these slower brainwave states and your consciousness starts to expand, right? So you get bigger and bigger, you start to feel more, see more, know more. And that's because you're in different brainwave states than a lot of other people. So what eventually happens is you master sort of all these other brainwave states, And then you move into a brainwave state called gamma. Now gamma, this is where it's going to flip. Gamma is actually faster than beta. So we went beta alpha, theta delta. Now we're in gamma. So gamma is the brainwave state of people who are in extreme feelings of compassion, bliss, peace, calm. That is a gamma state. And you are ultra perceptive in gamma. So your brain is not really bogged down. It's kind of like, a lot of people will kind of characterize this with monks, nuns, great meditators, that they're kind of in this state of non-emotion and detachment from things. They're just in this peaceful oneness state. So that's probably what the word I'm trying to find. They're in this beautiful oneness state, and they're not bogged down by really the human experience anymore. So you kind of work through all the brainwave states, and then you hit gamma. And once you hit gamma, you're kind of hit with stuff all the time. In a sense, you're ultra perceptive to everything going on. Some would say that athletes, when they're in other areas of peak performance, are hitting gamma at certain points in time. Everyone hits gamma when they're in their, I think they say it's the first couple of cycles of their REM state, they'll hit gamma. And when they're visualizing, they can also hit gamma. So you're going to be hitting gamma at different points of the day anyway. A lot of people say the gamma waves kind of run the whole brain. But when you get into an ultra conscious state all the time, and you've dropped a lot of the human emotions and attachment to things, you will start to be in gamma pretty much all the time. So when a lot of times I'll tell people I kind of operate in a different brainwave state than a lot of people, it's because once you work through a lot of these, you kind of have to go through all the other brainwaves states and get used to being in those brainwave states, and then you hit gamma, and then you just pick up on everything. You're picking up on the underlying energetics of everything. And then you start living in gamma. Okay, that is a very quick. Oh, one more thing before I sign off. The best way to start accessing these other states, brainwave states, consciously, is to try to be in more intuitive states. Practice daydreaming, practice visualization, I can't even say it, visualization. Calm yourself down. Meditation can do it. If you're not a big meditator, cleaning the house, sometimes walking, being outside, just calm your brainwaves down. Get into these different brainwave states, and you'll know when you hit gamma. You'll just understand when you're in a gamma state, because you are just ultra perceptive. You're just in a zone. You can feel everything. You can sense everything. You feel everything. You understand what's going on with everything. That's gamma. All right, everyone. I'm wishing you a lot of fun exploring your different brainwave states. Remember, stay super conscious and keep practicing the art of intuition.